All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and we've been going over the online PDF AppInventor2 Create Your Own Android Apps text written by Wolber, Adelson, Spurtis, and Looney. We're almost smack dab in the middle of Chapter 7, Android Where's My Car, and we're about to put in this information for recording and displaying the current location. And as it says, when the user clicks the directions button, the event handler should build the URL for the map and call webviewer.goToURL to open the map. As this is the code for it, but you'll hopefully see it when we get a little further up. The resulting URL consists of the Google Maps domain along with two URL parameters that remember the source and the destination, which specify those locations for the directions. For this app, this source is set to the latitude and longitude of the current location, and the destination is the latitude and longitude of where the car is parked. So this is what we have to put in. All right. So you'll notice that when we do this, we're going to put the when in for the directions button. We'll call the web viewer URL, and then we'll have to do a join because we're going to be joining together a whole bunch of stuff. All right. So let's bring this up for the the directions button, I should say. All right, so what do we want to do here? We want to call the web viewer go to URL. And you'll see we don't have much in there. So what we're going to have to do when we do this is we're going to have to do a join, and we'll have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things in that join. So we'll have to keep building onto the join, in other words. So I'm going to go to text, I'm going to find the join, which gives us 2. Click here. We're going to add another one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I believe that's all of them. All right, so first we want to put in the HTTP Google Maps. And to make it easy on myself, I'm going to just key it in here. http://maps.google.com/maps $SADDR equals, because that'll be our source address. And my heat's about to go off, so in just a couple minutes I'm going to have to turn this off. Apologize for that. So we'll put in the first text block here. And in there we're going to put in this. All right, again, remember we're building this incrementally. And then we want the current lat label.text. All right, and then we want a comma, and then the current longitude label.text. Oops. Now I'm just going to duplicate this, move it down here, and change it from current lat label to current lon label. Okay. And then next we want here ampersand A or DADDR. That's my heat. All right. So again, we're building this thing as you've seen it, and now it's time to put in the destination address. Okay, so we've got 5 out of our 8 pieces in there. Next, we want the remembered lat label.text. Followed by a comma. And I'm going to duplicate this. And the remembered LAN label .text. And I believe that is everything. Okay. All right. Now, the only thing is, just so you know, the way that this is running right now. Okay, again, I got to stop for just a moment. All right, so I'm going to continue on. Apologize for that. And as it says here, we now should have a fully functioning app that remembers a start location and draws a map back to the location, to that location, from wherever the current user location is. However, if the user remembers a location and then closes the app, the remembered data will not be available. In other words, it does not persist. All right. Back in Chapter 4, when we did the No Texting While Driving app, we looked at the TinyDB component. We're going to do something similar as it says in here. So when the user clicks the Remember button, we store the location data to the database. When the app launches, we load the location data to the database into the variable or property. So this is what we're going to do. As it says, we will have to modify the Remember button so that it stores the remembered data. To store the latitude, longitude, and address, we're going to have to make 3 calls to tinydb.storeValue. Okay? And as mentioned right here, the tinydb.storeValue copies the location data from the location sensor properties into the database. Remember, the database is just, it's an area basically in the memory of the phone or the Android device. All right. The store value function has 2 arguments. It's got a tag and it's got a value. The tag identifies the data to store, and the value is the actual data that you want to have saved. In this case, it'll be the sensor data. So this is what we have in the Remembered button right now. So we're going to have to add these 3 calls, all right, to TinyDB. So I'm going to do the first one, and then I'm just going to go and duplicate it twice, all right, and we'll put the other information in. So we need our Remember button. I think that's where it was, correct? Yes, it's our Remember button. So for now, I think I can take this and collapse it, bring the Remember button back out, and we'll expand that again. All right, so we've got those 4 things, and we want to add the call, actually 3 calls, to tinydb1.storeValue. All right, and what we have in here is we'll have address, lat, and long, and it'll be the location sensor information for the current address, the latitude, and the longitude. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate this. And the next time we want this to be the latitude, and this will be the location sensor latitude. Whoops, not provider. Latitude. And then we're going to go and take this one and duplicate it again. And that's going to be the LON. And that's going to be the longitude. I think that we're finished here with this. Address, location 1 sensor, current address. Lat, location 1 sensor, latitude. Lon, or they use long, I use lon. Location 1 sensor and longitude. Okay, so I think we've got everything. All right. You store the data in the database so that you can recall it later. In this app, if the user stores the location and then closes the app, you want to retrieve that information from the database and show it when the app relaunches. As discussed in previous chapters, the Screen 1 initialize event is triggered when the app launches. Retrieving data from the database is a very common thing on startup, and that's what we want to do in this app. So we will use the tinydb.getValue to retrieve the stored GPS data. We need to retrieve the address, the latitude, and the longitude, so we'll need 3 calls to get value. All right, we'll need to check to see if indeed there is data available, because the first time we do it, there won't be any. So this is what we're going to want to put into our screen1.initialize. Okay? And let's see where I am. I'm at 10:55. It's going to be close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here and finish this project up in one more video.